Hey, James from J Kramer Fitness. What is going on today? We are going to be doing a review on Nutricost grass-fed whey protein isolate. As always, I have my notes behind the camera. So let's go ahead, dive in, dig in, and see if this protein powder is worth your money. So of course, if you've been a long-time user of Nutricost protein, you might have seen that they have a grass-fed isolate. The reason why you would go with a grass-fed protein powder is that A, higher amino acid, B, supposedly cleaner ingredients, C, less animal abuse. The question we want to ask today is, Nutricost grass-fed whey protein isolate any good? And as always, a rundown of the topics I'll be discussing in this review. What is Nutricost grass-fed whey protein isolate's amino acid profile? Is Nutricost grass-fed whey protein really grass-fed? Is Nutricost grass-fed whey protein third-party tested? What is Nutricost grass-fed whey protein isolate's mixing instructions? How many scoops of Nutricost grass-fed whey protein powder should you be taking post-workout? Does that Nutricost grass-fed whey protein taste good? The flavor that I have, vanilla. What are the ingredients found in Nutricost's grass-fed whey protein isolate? Does Nutricost grass-fed whey protein use high-quality ingredients? And then wrapping up the protein review, is Nutricost grass-fed whey protein any good? Then I'll go over my cons, the pros, and then I'll share my final grade. And as always, these have a full written, I have a full write-up at my website. The link of the review will be down below. And then as always, a list of all the protein powders I have currently reviewed. What is Nutricost's grass-fed whey protein isolate's amino acid profile? If you watch my last Nutricost isolate review, I did get in contact with Nutricost. A representative did get in contact with me. I was actually surprised by the response shared by the representative. When I did write the review, Nutricost initially had the amino acid profile listed in the product description. However, over the last couple months and revisiting the website, Nutricost no longer shares that amino acid profile, which is kind of surprising. Good for you. I have a screen capture of the amino acid profile. The representative said the reason why they used to do 100-gram proteins, amino acid per 100 grams of protein, was that for simplicity's sake. However, the reason why they were doing that was to mask the low quality protein powder being used. We're talking about the grass-fed isolate. What's the amino acid profile for the grass-fed? Well, the representative shared the amino acid profile for Nutricost grass-fed isolate is the same for their standard isolate. So what does that mean? That this label here, grass-fed, isn't really 100% grass-fed. Did do the calculations for what one serving of Nutricost 30 grams of protein would look like. I'll go ahead and post it. Other than that, when you purchase a protein powder that is grass-fed, you're expecting a higher amino acid profile. Is Nutricost grass-fed whey protein really grass-fed? And no, it's not really 100% grass-fed. As I shared, it's very possible that this could be their standard isolate with trace amounts of grass-fed isolate protein in here. Referencing an AGN Roots article, grass-fed whey contains more BCAAs. I'll leave a link to that article down below. That article shares that the grass-fed whey is to have higher amino acid profile due to the following reasons. More natural diet for the cows, less grain-fed, more grass. Cows have a less environmental stress, so they're actually out and about grazing. The cows are offered better care, and then with all those three elements combined, cows are psychologically and physically happier. AGN Roots shares information on how to determine if the protein powder is grass-fed by examining the BCAA profile. I do dig deeper into the BCAA profile. Simply put, Nutricost grass-fed whey protein isolate is not grass-fed. So who is doing the third-party certification for Nutricost? 3 agencies that do the certification for Nutricost are Analytical Resource Laboratories, Advanced Laboratories Inc., Dyad Labs. In my previous review, I did share that that's kind of odd to have 3 different certifying organizations. It's also very odd to go ahead and have a non-traditional third party examine the nutrient content. That should, kind of raise a red flag there. And then of course, 2 of the 3 certifying agencies are actually physically located in Salt Lake City, in very similar proximity to Nutricost headquarters. I would have rather liked to see informed choice beyond the label. However, Nutricost is trying to advertise themselves as a budget price protein offering high quality ingredients for buyers. Furthest from the case. Let's go ahead, start discussing how to mix this protein powder up. So just like all the other Nutricost protein powders, nothing too different. Mix 1 scoop daily with 6 to 10 ounces of water, milk, or your preferred beverage. I have my shaker cup, 8 fluid ounces, Pure Choice Farms. Open the lid, grab the scoop. As I shared before, since the amino acid profile is the same, you would want, if you're using this for post-workout nutrition, you want to go ahead and do 1 scoop and 1/10. Scoop 1 and 1/10 of a scoop, and lock the lid, lock the shaker bottle, shake it up. The reason why I always share going a little bit more than the recommended scoop for protein powders, I always reference in a exercise sports science article. That article always shares you should aim for at least 25 grams of protein post-workout with at least 2 grams of leucine up to 3 grams of leucine post-workout. I always tend to err higher on the leucine spec shared before. Plus, most protein companies don't usually offer 30 grams of protein per serving. Average amount is usually around 20 to 25 grams protein per serving. So some protein companies may not hit that 25 gram of protein threshold. I always like to show the shaker bottle. There are small specs associated with this protein powder with Nutricost. Opening up the lid, pretty clean underneath. Does Nutricost whey, grass-fed whey protein isolate taste good? Let's go into a vanilla taste test. Tastes like vanilla, nothing too crazy. I've never been a vanilla person. However, if you cannot get the basics right for the flavoring for vanilla, that should be a big indicator of what the rest of the flavor should taste like. This is vanilla. What are the ingredients found in Nutricost grass-fed whey protein? The ingredient list as follows for Nutricost grass-fed whey protein isolate. Grass-fed whey protein isolate with an emulsifier, flavoring, Himalayan salt, stevia. What is great about this is that there are no artificial sugars. I obviously shared that I am indifferent to the vanilla because of the fact I am very sensitive to stevia, and that's probably the reason why I'm very indifferent to the vanilla flavored offered. However, I do have some concerns about this ingredient list, even though it is very minimal, which I do like, and it is simple to follow. We've already found out that Nutricost grass-fed isolate isn't 100% grass-fed because of the identical amino acid profile to their standard isolate. Nutricost used in their standard protein powder sodium chloride, I think is what it is for their sodium or salt. The salt in this is still extremely high, 330 milligrams. I'll do a side-by-side comparison of the nutrition facts of grass-fed isolate and then the standard isolate. And they're very similar even though the flavors are different. I am questioning the Himalayan rock salt utilized in this protein powder. I mean, we've already found that Nutricost isn't really offering a truly 100% grass-fed protein powder. What else are they willing to go ahead and hide from the consumer? let's go ahead and see if Nutricost is actually using high quality ingredients in their grass-fed protein powder. There is a reason why Nutricost is a budget price protein. They have this perceived value that they are offering a great deal to potential buyers. However, when you examine the amino acid profile, it's not the highest protein powder. You can tell that by, like I said, looking at the amino acid profile, or if you're someone who is lactose intolerant, how much GI distress that you're having. You will experience bloating with this protein powder. No matter how many times I get in contact with protein companies, 90% of them always says, oh, we always source protein powder within the United States. That is furthest from the truth. Majority of the time, protein powders that do have globally sourced ingredients, the protein powder is usually sourced from India, Europe, China. That shared, Nutricost is not using the highest quality ingredients. One of them is that they share that it's cold processed, and cold process is a method to help retain the protein powder and more nutrients. I will actually show the minerals. I'll have a side-by-side comparison of grass-fed minerals and then the standard isolate minerals found in their protein powders. I'm not buying that this protein powder is cold filtered, just because of the fact that you look at the minerals readily found on the label for their standard, they're almost identical, if not the same. I don't think this protein powder is cold filtered. Usually you would have a higher amino acid profile if it was cold filtered. I think once again, there's more marketing hype for the consumer who is interested in just consuming a minimally processed protein powder. So let's go ahead and conclude this. Let's answer the question, is Nutricost grass-fed whey protein good? Concluding this unbiased protein review, let's answer the question, is it good? I'm gonna go ahead and share my cons. Based on an email with the representative from Nutricost, this is not a grass-fed protein. I'm sure that this is predominantly a whey protein isolate with trace amounts of grass-fed isolate added in. There's internationally sourced protein from a low quality seller. We know that based on the amino acid profile. Talking about the amino acid profile, this is well below average for BCAAs based on a 30-gram serving by Nutricost. Ideally, the average amount of leucine in a protein powder is 10 to 11%. This calculates to about 9. And that's because when you have 3 third-party agencies testing a protein powder, that is a very odd choice. And out of those 3, 2 of them are located in Salt Lake City. Once again, talking about the quality of the protein powder, you will experience horrible GI issues with this protein powder. You buy an isolate to remove majority of the lactose, and if this was truly a cold filtered protein powder, you would experience minimal bloating with this. There is a high amount of sodium per serving in this. This one has 330 milligrams of sodium. And then finally, wrapping up the cons, the misleading label information. Yeah, it says grass-fed. Is 100% grass-fed? No. And then of course, examining the statement Himalayan rock salt, I'm not buying that's truly 100% Himalayan rock salt in here. I wouldn't be surprised if there was sodium chloride. So I got all the icky stuff out of the way. What are some things that are great about Nutricost? What are the pros? It tastes like vanilla. If you're someone who doesn't like stevia, you will notice the stevia taste to it. I know I can. However, with that shared, there are no artificial sweeteners. So if you're someone who is anti-artificial sweetener, you will most likely have this on your radar. As you saw with my mixing or shaking of the protein powder, it mixes great. And of course, it is reasonably budget priced, especially for a grass-fed protein powder. However, do not buy direct from Nutricost if you want the best deal. I ended up buying mine through Amazon. So let's answer the question. Is Nutricost grass-fed isolate a good protein powder that you should purchase? I firmly believe it's not good due to the false information provided by Nutricost. You can catch a company in one lie. Where does it stop? This is not a grass-fed whey protein isolate. The representative did share that the amino acid profiles are the same for the standard and the grass-fed. So essentially, you're just buying this because of what it's shared here, grass-fed. That's it. Secondly, it's very possible that you're looking for a all-natural protein powder, so that offers no artificial sweeteners. Stevia is in this, so it could be on your radar. However, with these budget price protein powders, especially a budget price grass-fed protein powder, how do you have a premium line grass-fed protein powder or even a budget line grass-fed protein powder with a minimal ingredient profile? That never happens in the supplement industry. Hence the reason why there are 2 or 3 third-party agencies certifying this product. 2 of them are in Salt Lake City. Finally, the amino acid profile information removed on the website means that something's going on behind the scenes at Nutricost. So I bet a lot more people are being informed and start questioning the quality, and Nutricost just wants to go ahead and advertise quality supplements for people who are on a budget. This is not a quality protein powder at all. Avoid Nutricost grass-fed protein. Go somewhere else. If you're serious about your post-workout nutrition, avoid Nutricost grass-fed protein at all costs. That shared. My handle, my website is down below with all of my unbiased protein powder reviews I have done to date. I think as of today, I've done 63, 64. I also do take special requests. So if you see a protein powder that is not listed on all my protein powders that I have reviewed, don't be afraid to send me an email. I'll go ahead and add that to my list. As you can see, I have all these protein powders behind me to go ahead and do. My plan is to get all of them done this year, as well as a video for each one of them. So thanks for watching. Have an amazing day.